Positive takeaway, do your checks.
We trucked all day and we trucked all night.
15 minutes, that's about the average tea break of UK, Great Britain, HGV Skills Boot Camp Masterclass. In the 15-minute video today, it's going to include the whole of 5 morning sessions that give you everything you need to know, but you could condense that down into 15 minutes with the rest of the morning full of anecdotes of an old duffer that's rather portly and rather...
Top lorry, tow lorry, steady as you go, lorry, empty lorry, load lorry.
Well, rather jaded, old stereotypical HGV driver that's trying to be positive.
Straight back on the road, lorry, busy lorry, bin lorry, throw the whole lot of lorries.
It's a bit like a preemptive speed awareness program. If you've ever been on one of those, you've been caught speeding, you can avoid a fine and points. No, you just avoid points by attending this workshop.
Squeeze, lorry, crush, lorry, never in a rush, lorry, lift, lorry, shift, lorry, shove away the drift, lorry.
Where they berate you that you're a heinous human being for going 1 mile an hour over a speeding limit. You're basically doing genocide on the general public.
Lorry, blink, lorry, what's in there? You think lorry, sheep, lorry, cow, lorry, can you spot the plow, lorry?
Similar to that, but beforehand, they scare the living daylights out of you. This is a government-funded scheme trying to generate less cynical drivers, that they've been moulded by the cynical behaving positively.
Breaker 19, this here's a rubber duck. You got a copy on me, Love Machine? 10-4 pig pen, for sure, for sure. By golly, it's clean clear to Taco Town. Yeah, we definitely got us the front door, good buddy. Mercy sakes alive, looks like we got us a convoy.
There was someone that had had their brother knocked off their motorbike and killed by a HGV driver, and she was being told what a heinous human being she was and had basically killed her own brother. It's part of the government-funded process to get the right frame of mind. It might seem like a good thing to someone that doesn't get on with their relatives.
Someone needs a clean lorry, just where half the lorry.
There are a lot of self-training materials that are provided to you by the Department of Education. These enable self-directed study like every school child knows these days, but it's considered adults are less able than that, and certainly those stuck in certain professions like would think that HGV driver training is their only outlook. Certainly speaking for myself. That same teacher mentality when you were 13 pinned you against the wall by the throat in your English class because you were sat next to the wrong person on the back row just because it was the last seat in the room. That's what you've got to deal with to get a job, get some free training these days. Situational awareness. It's video and you can click on the screen and you answer the questions by saying what you've noticed and what you haven't noticed about a live dynamic environment. But it's fixed. I'm telling you, it's fixed. There's a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 score that if you click in time, you get 5. If you're a bit slow to notice, yeah. But 5 seconds previously, before the corner where the incident, someone on a bicycle going around a puddle, someone thinking about crossing the road, 5 seconds before that, round the corner, completely outside of the video, you've got to click because by the time it's visible on your screen, it's a 1. However, you can't just go clickety 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 click all over the screen. Oh no, you get penalised for that. Let's just hope that it's putting you into a...
Well, I don't like the loneliness, but it sure is good to be free.
oh, I'm useless frame of mind, so that you do lots of training before the actual... Pearson, American system, test. In the UK. Western Union man, send a telegram. Send a telegram to a baby. A little something for Elon Musk, who's the fall guy for Trump's America interference with electoral systems in Europe. But really not a very nice guy either, which the Botox is starting to expose, though it's trying to hide it in his mind. Dynamic risk assessment. I wanted to type in, wow, thank you for showing me that video. It's an old guy, Scottish, walks up mountains for fun. He's probably very interesting. And he was very interesting in the video, but too interesting, possibly. He had that intonation in his voice that goes up and down in strange places, and I need to ask sort of cultural awareness questions, because it was a north of England, south of England divide in the team's chat room. And he really did seem to be conveying, this guy on the dynamic risk assessment YouTube video, in his tone, that he'd been brought up in Victorian times, he'd experienced hardship in his childhood, but he'd perhaps got the better of that situation by giving other people, other very young people, hardship in their childhoods.
Breaker 19, this here's a rubber duck. You got a copy on me, Love Machine? 10-4 pig pen. sure. By golly, it's clean clear to Taco Town. Yeah, we definitely got us the front door, good buddy. Mercy sakes alive, looks like we got us a convoy.
I don't know whether it's the Teams app that I want to have a rant about, really, or whether it's the training provider's administration of the Teams app. Some days it costs me 10 pence of data by accident on my tablet. Other days it costs me £30 of mobile data fees. What happened between these times? Well, there's 5 different companies that are getting something out of this free government training, and they're all trying to get a little bit more money off each other and more out of the students, the punters, the numbers. So if they sabotage your lesson, they disable your video, and you must have video showing, you must be participating. They can disable your keyboard. They can send you links that just don't work. They can not send you links and not send you passwords and IDs. But they can also book you for a medical, claim to have human error and book 2 medicals, cancel one of them, so it appears to you that you've had a medical cancelled, so you can't attend to it. You could have attended to it, so one company charges the other for the medical that goes unattended, and you have to have another one, so there's 2 lots of fees and administrative fees. If you do part of a lesson but don't do all the lesson because of some computer issue that's been fabricated, you have to do it again. That's 2 payments that the government will have to pay to the training provider. The government rip-off is being contrived, fabricated, engineered by the training provider, ripping off the Department of Education, using us as a tool, and burning through our time, our patience and commitment. How do I know these things? How am I not just paranoid? Well, people make human error and share screens that they weren't intending to share. You see how the whole lesson looks from the training provider's point of view, but also the actual teacher themselves, the scheduling and the prices per lesson and per learner. If there's 3 people in the room or 30 people in the room. But the training provider causing you fees for your data usage is being used as a disciplinary measure. So I had to make my complaint. I was quite vociferous about shouldn't be ripping off the government, shouldn't be wasting my time and tarnishing my reputation. The tone of the teacher and the administrator changed towards me, and it was a completely separate company that I'd contacted, but they obviously operate as one. Because the one had contacted the other and said, watch him. It was like the whole 4-hour session was, like talking to that most antagonistic police officer that's ever stopped you. Same person, different day. It's not the neighbour downstairs with the Harley Davidson on his Telegram dark web. Piggybacking, it's active decisions made by the training provider. You know how if you send an MMS text message, it must use data? I've got all my settings so that when I'm in the house, it uses house Wi-Fi. My tablet never leaves the house, but I do make phone calls. Now on 1P mobile website, you can turn off your data there. But you do have to be online to log on, so if you've taken the iPad out, you can't access it unless you've got another device to get onto the internet with. Oh, but by the time I'd noticed, I made sure I went through the Teams app and turned everything off that possibly looked anything like it might be connecting me. Didn't make any difference to the service at all. I did start it with it all connected, but there were no charges next time. I'll say how important password and ID are to getting to the right group and the right functionality. Different devices, the Teams looks different, but it's really quite hidden how you put the ID and the password in, and this is so fundamental. So many people involved in the development of an app, and things don't get designed that badly by accident. I'm fortunate enough to be able to speak to my mobile phone network provider. They said they can look into things like when someone goes on holiday and they get a £3,000 bill for their child doing something because data roaming so money hungry. but 2 times £30 isn't a lot of money, it said it was to me. So I've written a begging letter and a bit of a ruse to the training provider saying, can you say to me, so I can try and recoup this money, that you have to make decisions that impact and you have no obligation to advise us of the settings. What do you think the chances are of getting any response from that at all?